What's up, Team Dink? I just discovered that some Berkeley gulp leaked in my camera backpack, so I'm not very happy about that. But that's besides the point. The point is, we've got this little tiny creek behind us, really, really shallow, really, really narrow. It's in the middle of town. It's right by a bunch of shopping areas. We're gonna see if we can catch a fish in it. I have no idea what lives here, but that's kind of the point. Today we're just like doing a species analysis, I guess. Regardless, enough yipping and yapping. Let's get to casting and blasting. Let's go.
Today I rigged up a pretty interesting rig. I've got my 7-foot ultralight rod, 4-pound test main line, and then I have a barrel swivel with actually a 4-pound fluorocarbon leader line. I've got this really tiny hook, smallest hook that I own. No idea what size. It's just really small. And then I've got a couple little split shot weights right above the swivel there. I'm gonna do something a little different today. Take this Berkeley gulp waxies. I'm gonna take one of these. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and thread it onto my hook, but what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna pull it onto my line a little bit, kind of cover up my knot. And the only reason I'm rigging this up is just to add that scent. Honestly, I have no idea what lives in here, and I figure the one thing that I do know is most species like little aquatic worms. I've actually got these ice fishing plastics. They're like clam, and I've got these little tiny pink worms. So we're gonna put one of those right behind this. I know this looks weird, guys. I was thinking the same thing, but I just, in my head, it felt like a rig that could work for multi-species. My assumption is that there's probably gonna be some bottom feeder type activity, but technically speaking, you know, there could be trout in here too. So I really do think that a trout would eat this just the same. It's pretty dang ugly looking, I'm not gonna lie, but I do think it'll get bit. So let's see what we can find. That's perfect. The challenge is gonna be casting it, but gosh, that looks so good in the water. Okay, I'm already seeing some minnow activity, so that's obviously a good sign. So my strategy is basically just cast it upstream as far as I can and then just slow drift it back with the current. And I'm just gonna keep my eyes on it. The value of having that pink worm is I'm gonna be able to see it. The hard part is not spooking these fish because it's extremely shallow and it's really clear. I've seen little worms in streams before and this looks really good. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Okay, there was a fish in this pool. Dadgummit. I think that was like a white sucker. I'm not entirely sure what species. It was a type of sucker. It was about that big. This is a tiny, tiny creek right here. Super shallow, no deeper than about 2 foot in the middle of this thing. And there was a fish about that big in it. White sucker or hognose sucker. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not great with my species of suckers at this point. I don't know if it would eat a rig like this or not. I would have to believe that it would though. A sucker would definitely eat small aquatic worms. And then that bit of scent would probably help them pick up on it as well. Man, it's crazy how I didn't even see the sucker. I'm telling you what, they blend in like crazy. Oh, dude, 2 of them. Probably about 15 to 17 inches. Oh, 3 of them. Oh my Lord, there's a bunch of them, guys. Man, they blend in so good. They are in the skinniest water. I'm talking about 6 to 10 inches deep, guys. Oh my gosh, I literally just spooked another. Insanity. So let me just show you kind of what kind of stuff they position on. I'm literally standing in the water. It's no deeper than about 6 inches. Up under this undercut bank, it gets just a little bit deeper. That's the kind of stuff they seem to be positioning on. I mean, it's no deeper than a foot right there, but these fish still position on it. You know, this is a really challenging style of fishing. I would be honestly really surprised if we do manage to catch one today. I think a much more likely species will be a creek chub. Fish, fish. Creek chub. All right, there we go. We're on the board, guys. I will take a creek chub any day of the week. Today's goal is not about big, huge fish. It's about species analysis. We've learned that there's minnows here. There's some type of sucker, whether that's a white sucker, hognose sucker, I'm not entirely sure. And there's creek chub. All right, buddy, I'm gonna toss him back over here. Try to avoid spooking the rest of them if there's more in this pool. This is by far the deepest pool that I've found yet. It's kind of challenging to cast in there though, but there's a lot of overhanging trees. Oh, one just pounded it. I don't know what that was. There's 3 suckers, but they're holding completely still. I don't know if they're in the process of laying eggs or something. They obviously don't seem super interested in eating right now. Dude, now I just realized there's freaking like 20 of them right here. I bet when I got bumped, I bet that was one of these guys. There's like 20 in one little pool. Dude, this is insanity. I haven't spooked them yet. These fish are definitely in some type of spawning activity right now. They've got like a darker complexion, but then they've got like white spots and stuff. Well, I tell you folks what, this pool, it was going on right here. I just don't think these suckers had any interest in eating. And then the problem is, as soon as I get close enough to where I can really present it well, these fish completely spook off. I'm gonna try to be super stealthy and make my way just a little further upstream. This pool looks so dang good. Well, unfortunately, we just broke off. So I'm gonna come up here and look and see what the pool looks like, and then I'm gonna decide what I wanna rig up. Holy crap. There's a goose right there staring at me. That is the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. That is a goose head, and she is just staring at me. I'm gonna leave Mrs. Goose alone. I don't want her to hiss at me. Okay, I told myself I was gonna rig up something pretty similar, but instead I went ahead and tied on this little black jig that my friend Dave made for me. Really nice looking, and I'm gonna actually tip it with some Berkeley Gulp maggots just to give it some scent, because obviously a lot of the fish in here probably really like scent. If it's a sucker or a creek chub, I think they really do like that. I do technically think that there probably are a few trout in here as well, and if there are, I don't see why it wouldn't eat something like this. That actually looks pretty good. I have it right in front of a sucker's face, but he has no interest in it. It is this close to his face, and he's just not even moving. We're doing some good old-fashioned exploring today. Man, it just seems like this water's just getting shallower and shallower the further I go up. This looks good, yeah. I've seen a ton of suckers. I just haven't seen, and I've seen a couple creek chubs, but I haven't seen any trout, but I know they gotta be around here.
Yeah, I've seen them up in here. I don't think it's so much.
Have you ever caught suckers before? I feel like,
yeah.
What do you throw, just a worm?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I've heard most people use, but I didn't know if they'd ever hit anything else or not. God, that one right in the middle. He's huge. He's 24 inches long, it looks like. Oh well, I'll just be watching them. Hey, a fish, creek chub. There we go. I'm cool with anything that bites. I'll take that. Little creek chub. He's got the horns on his head because they're spawning too. That's cool. All right, folks, so there's probably 20 to 30, if not more, spawning suckers in here, and they have no interest in eating what I'm throwing. My guess is they probably would hit a worm, because I actually just talked to a local, and he seemed like he knew what he was talking about, and he mentioned that they'll eat night crawlers pretty well. Good news is that I just found a creek chub, so we have caught 2 fish today, and I'll take that any day of the week. But it's been neat just kind of like seeing these suckers. You know, I'm surprised they're not a little bit more protective of their beds, because they're all on beds, and when this goes by, they just spook off. Man, there's just so many suckers. Oh, creek chub, there we go. Speak of the devil. Oh gosh, he's got me in the bush. That's actually a pretty nice one. Nice fatty. There we go. All right, we're up to 3 fish today. Wow, I hooked him really strange. Right in the noggin. They're actually spawning this time of year too, and they get these little horns on their nose. Pretty small on this one, but pretty cool nonetheless. Honestly, I'll have to do some reading. I'm not honestly entirely sure why they get the horns. I don't know if it's a defensive thing or what, or I have no way of knowing. I'll have to do some research as far as like why, from a biology standpoint, they get those. I bought them the other day because, I don't know, I just thought they would work well for multi-species, and it's a little 2-inch Berkeley Gulp night crawler. It's natural color. It literally looks exactly like a worm. The only thing that it's gonna be missing is like the lifelike motion of one. The reality is on this light line in this current, it should wiggle around like it's, you know, like it's alive, and then it's got the scent. I don't know. Part of me thinks that it should work and these suckers might just eat it. I'm just gonna rig this like this, almost like it's a drop shot, and then I'm just gonna slow drift it through the pools just like I was doing earlier. It is drifting right in front of a bunch of them.
Was today tough fishing? Absolutely it was. Did we catch a couple fish though? Sure did, so I'm not gonna complain too much. It was really neat seeing all those suckers. I'm gonna have to do some research, and then after I do some research, hopefully I'll be able to come back someday and catch those fish. Regardless, the point is, a tiny little creek like this can hold fish, so don't count it out. Go explore it, make an adventure out of it. Even though I didn't catch a lot of fish today, it was still super fun because it was new water and I was able to break it down and just discover something new. So with that all being said, I'm gonna go home and eat some dinner. See ya.